Hi everyone, so for today's video I'm going to show you a technique that allows you to create the most natural looking fake freckles in the fastest way possible. Now this technique is super easy and it's also going to give you variation. So whenever it comes to fake freckles, I feel like you really need variation in either opacity, size and placement to make everything look more natural, and this technique is really going to do it all. So if you want to know how to create the most easy fake freckle look, you can just keep on watching. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I put up new videos every single Monday, so subscribe so that you don't miss any of my content. And that's it, so thank you so much for watching and let's get started with the makeup. So to begin, I already have my complexion on, so I have my foundation, concealer, I also have a little bit of lip gloss and my brows on. The next step I would take would be to apply some bronzer. Now I feel like the bronzer is actually a step that's going to make the fake freckles look very natural. You don't really have to do it, but I do really enjoy a sun-kissed, very warm complexion when I'm doing fake freckles. So I'm actually going to be using a good bronzer just to warm up the complexion, and the fake freckles are also going to blend quite nicely into my skin. So today I'm going to be using the AceBeauté Bronzed in Paradise bronzing palette. You actually have 4 different shades in here. And for my bronzer, I'm going to be using the very lighter shade. So I'm just going to take that with a Real Techniques blush brush. And I'm just going to start to warm up the complexion like I normally do it. So I'm going to put some on the temples. I'm also going to put some in the hollows of my cheeks. I'm also going to put some down my neck. So these are usually the areas where I would normally apply my bronzer. I'm going to take a little bit more and I'm going to run this across my nose. Now this is going to give that kind of overall bronzed look around the cheeks. So it's actually going to make the fake freckles blend so much better into the complexion. So I'm really just going to lightly dust a little bit of bronzer across my nose, and I'm also putting some on the apples of the cheeks. Alright, so I think this is pretty good. Next step, you can go ahead and apply your blush. So I'm going to be using my Natasha Denona Diamond and Blush palette, and I'm going to be dipping into this blush powder shade. This is a really pretty shade because it does have a little bit of a shine to it, so it's really going to give a very natural shine from within blushed kind of look. So I'm just going to run a little bit of this on the apples of the cheeks, and I'm going to drag it towards the temples just to give a little bit more color to the skin. And I'm also going to take that blush and just run it on the top of the nose. Alright, so my skin is blushed, is bronzed. Now we are ready to do the freckles. Now there's a couple of different ways you can apply fake freckles. You could totally use a very small brush with some brown eyeshadow and you can really draw your fake freckles one by one, but it is going to take some time. I've seen a lot of people also taking a spoolie and putting the spoolie into a brown powder and using that to dab the fake freckles on, because the spoolie does have some texture to it, so it's going to draw on fake freckles in a much faster way. And also a way that I've been doing my fake freckles for quite some time now is to actually use a brow pencil and draw the fake freckles on, but again it's going to take a lot of time. Now the reason why I don't really like these techniques so much is because they take a lot of time and they're not totally the most natural looking, because when you do it with these techniques, the fake freckles are going to be about the same sizes, when usually fake freckles are very different. They have a lot of variations. So the technique I'm going to show you is actually going to allow you to have that variation. I need to stop talking. So for this technique, you're going to need a brown powder. You can use brown eyeshadow, you can use a bronzing powder. I'm going to be using the same AceBeauté Bronzed in Paradise palette because you have different shades and it's really going to allow me to create the perfect freckle shade. You're also going to need a little container and you're also going to need some water. So what you're going to do, you're going to actually take your spoolie and you're going to start and scrape this eyeshadow into your little container. So I'm going to take this one and this one. So now I have my powder in my little container. Next, you're going to take a little bit of water and you're going to put it in your container. You really do not need a lot of water. You don't really want it to be a paste. You really want it to be still quite liquidy. So I'm going to very well mix this water into the powder. I'm just using my spoolie to mix everything in. Alright, so everything is quite nicely blended in. What you're going to do before applying it on your face, I'm going to do a test on my leg or my arm. So you're going to coat your spoolie with this cocktail, but I am going to remove the excess water. I don't really want to have too much water on here because it's just going to splatter everywhere. And what you're going to do, you're actually going to be flicking this product onto your face. So I'm just going to do some of this action, and as you can see, it's already creating this quite nice pattern, and you're just going to continue doing this until you have the shape that you want and the intensity that you want. So as you can see, this is really natural looking, and what's nice with this is that certain areas are lighter, some of them are darker. The speckles are also bigger and smaller, so this is really random. So the hardest part with this technique, I would say, would be aiming. So you really want to make sure that you're aiming on the right areas. So let's begin. So I'm just going to do some flicking. All right. And don't worry if some speckles is a little bit bigger than others. You can always remove some of them if some of them are a little bit too crazy looking. And also, I think the shade I used is a little bit too dark. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to take my finger and I'm going to tap over some of these just to make everything blend. All right, and as you can see already, we have some pretty nice looking freckles. Everything is super random, but I'm just going to continue. So every time you're splattering on your skin, make sure to tap over the freckles to make sure that they all look very blended into the skin. So the first time you're going to dip into the water mixed with the powder, you are going to have the most pigment on the brush. So the first couple of splatters are going to be quite dark and quite intense. The more you go at it, the more you splatter on your skin, the more light and soft the freckles are going to get. So I would say wait until you don't have any water on the spoolie before you dip back in, just to make sure that you have the most variation on your skin. Okay. Oh god, that was a little bit much. So I'm just going to tap over. Now this is where my too much gene comes in. I never know when to stop doing things. So I am just going to continue because I want the most pigment to be around my nose. So I'm just going to do a little bit more around the nose area. And today I really want to go for that all over freckle kind of look. You can totally not do as much as what I'm doing right now, but I really want today's look to be extremely editorial, very skin oriented. But of course you can totally stop when you want, and you can also just concentrate the freckles in the center of the face. And also you want to make sure that when you do the speckles, you really don't want to spray from underneath, but you really want to be in front of your skin. Just because if you do it from underneath, the speckles are going to start looking like lines, but if you do it in front, it's going to be much more of a round shape. So as you're probably seeing, my too much gene is taking over. Alright everyone, so here we have it. I really hope this video was useful and that this technique will help someone out there. I really think this technique is super practical to create the most natural looking freckles. This technique is going to give you variation, either in opacity, in sizes, in placement. So I feel like this is the most natural and easy kind of technique to create fake freckles. Of course, you can totally stop before like the point that I am right now. I did apply a lot of fake freckles just because I am going to be doing some editorial skin photos after this, so I really wanted to make sure that my skin was pretty well covered. And that's it. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I put up new videos every single Mondays, so subscribe so that you don't miss any of my uploads. And that's it. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Monday.